Hey guys, Luke here with New Age Thought. I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about Bitcoin right now. If you are invested or you have a investment portfolio, um, this channel is not about investment advice, but Bitcoin today has hit a record low, I think, for the week. Let me check my data. Right now, it's actually currently sitting at 29,534. So the price has gone down significantly, and you can look at it. You can look at that one of two ways, right? So, a lot of people believe that Bitcoin could possibly just go to zero, and I don't believe that's going to occur. I think it will drop significantly, and I think it will probably continue to drop from the price it's at. But the reasoning for this drop is because, right, when the price is low, that allows people with, whales, they call them, with vast amounts of money, trillions, billions of dollars to buy up a large percentage of Bitcoin and, kind of control the movement of Bitcoin the best that you can, because wow, it just went to 29,400. Oh my gosh, it is really plummeting. And for me, that's a good thing because I am waiting. I already have some money invested in Bitcoin, but not a lot. But I have, some serious funds for myself that I'm ready to, put in there when the price is right. Because man, at 29,400 now, 29,450, 29,456, 452, 451, almost going into the 30s, minus 2.74%. You have the potential to make a lot of money when this bounces back, and it's going to bounce back because, if you just think about what Bitcoin is, if you really think long and hard about it, it's not going to die, right? We are going into an economic recession, but I think we can all agree that Bitcoin as a currency, as a system of value, is not going to just be erased. That would really, really surprise me. Look, we never know completely what's going to happen, and there's always a possibility that things can go horribly wrong. That's what the stock market is, but if I were you, going into a recession, if you don't have any money invested, that's okay. You can just save some money under your mattress, and honest to God, it will be okay. But when inflation rises, the value of that dollar that you worked for, even if you take it out of the bank and put it under your mattress, it's going down, right? So, like, think about people in Venezuela who are working super hard, fucking 80 hours a week, only for the value of what they actually make to just continue to go down. So when the economy is entering a recession, it's really smart to invest in stocks, bonds, ETFs, kind of things that will fluctuate, but they won't completely just, cash will just lose its value flat out. Whereas when stocks and ETFs and certain assets go down, they actually have almost a rebound effect, an increase in value, right? Because they're at a cheaper price, and then more people are willing to buy them, right? Because even though we're in a recession, people are still going to have money. It's not going to be complete. For some people, if you have invested, your life savings, you could lose it all. But, if you're smart, a recession doesn't mean you're going to lose all your money. It just means you have to rebalance your portfolio. So I highly recommend that you still look at Bitcoin because, you could make fun of it all you want, but the reality remains that the price where it's at right now, it just got to 430. Man, if it just goes back to numbers that it once was at, whatever you're investing, you could double it. So that's pretty cool. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to really put a lot of money into it to try to save this movement. I don't think it needs saving, but I do think it needs bolstering. You see guys like Elon come out and talk about, he tried to do kind of a Bitcoin giveaway. So clearly, I think when Elon does this kind of stuff, and other, even what's his name, the the guy, Twitter CEO, forget his name, but I don't even know if he's still a part of the company anymore. But I don't think, like if you ask Warren Buffett about Bitcoin, he'll tell you do not invest in it. It just went to 29.3. Oh my God. It's really sinking right now. Good time to buy. There's this famous thing that Warren like a press conference Warren Buffett was at, and Warren Buffett, being one of the most big time investors, very smart guy, he just says, do not get involved in Bitcoin. You got guys like Bernanke, who used to be the chairman for the Fed, right? He's saying, do not, stay away from Bitcoin. So all of the, how should I say, traditional sort of, the guys closest to the tap, so to speak, these guys are all denouncing Bitcoin, which makes me highly suspicious, right? Because, a lot of times these guys will say things, and just because they are saying it does not mean they truly believe it. They know that their opinion can sway financial markets. And, if a guy like Warren Buffett comes out and denounces Bitcoin, there are going to be a lot of people who take what he says as gospel and just do not believe in it. But Warren Buffett also said, never invest in something you don't understand. And honestly, when I hear Warren Buffett talking about Bitcoin, I don't think he understands it. Well, at least when he speaks, he's either purposely talking in a way to make people think he doesn't understand it, but I cannot imagine that a man like Warren Buffett does not understand what Bitcoin is all about. Bitcoin is, it's not the best, like when Warren Buffett would say, buy an apartment building, buy a farm. These are real tangible assets that will then produce money for you. Like Bitcoin's not going to produce money. You're just hoping that, people will buy it at a higher price than you bought it for. Okay, hold on. It's starting to move up again. I want to keep an eye on this. I'm making a video and I really should just be monitoring what's going on. But what he doesn't understand is that Bitcoin is essentially like digital real estate or financial real estate. So it's like owning it, it's not going to directly, kind of like a traditional investment start making you money, but you're owning a piece of a finite pie. And that's really important, because as long as Bitcoin continues to be something that will be a staple of the future, the more real estate you own of it, the better. I mean, imagine, buying all of the land in the world. Well, you wouldn't really want to buy all of it. You'd want to buy a lot of it. But if you have all of it, then you don't have other people in the market who are, motivated by the economy to buy and sell, right? You kind of want to have majority or as much as you can without owning it all, right? Or it kind of defeats the purpose. So, obviously, that's just like, I could go more in depth on that. It's not as detailed as I want to give, but I want to keep this video under 10 minutes. So, yeah, guys, let me know what you think about Bitcoin right now. I think this might be inverted, but it's continuing to go straight down. And, if you have money invested in it, you're not very happy about this, right? Because you bought it at a higher price. But, sometimes it's okay to, even if you already have some money invested in it, it's okay to buy lower than what you already have if you really can read the trends of the market. So I don't want to give direct financial advice. All I'm going to do is tell you what exactly is going on, and you can make the decision for yourself. But I want to see wealth spread to as many people as possible, because once we weather the storm of the recession that was caused ultimately by COVID, if you're a holder of Bitcoin, there's a very good chance that you're going to be, automatically basically a player, an important player in the world economy. And if you're left out of it, a lot of the money and things that you own are just going to be completely sucked by inflation. and it's going to take a long time before you might see the value of what you've worked for go back up. So in times of recession, you can't go wrong investing in oil, investing in precious metals, and sometimes, if you really want to take it to a next level, if you believe that there's going to be conflict, military contractors or, companies like Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, these companies are traditionally kind of like a safe haven for investor cash during times of kind of uneasiness and conflict. So we're absolutely going into a recession. That's guaranteed. We're going to get through it. What we don't know is if there's going to be a physical conflict, because if you look in history, the economy is always tied into geopolitics and warfare, right? And a lot of times there's ways of, if you look into history, there's usually always one country that's been kind of the dominating economy, right? And then, because that usually happens after a war, right? A war is the kind of the trigger point, which there's a reshuffling of the dominance hierarchy of economies, right? So right now, World War II is the last major one, right? And Britain kind of used to be at the top, and they had to borrow all this money. But even though they won World War II, along with the Allies, the United States wasn't as negatively affected because we weren't, in a direct mainland conflict with Nazi Germany. So we didn't lose as much as England did. So our economy ended up becoming the strongest economy in the world after that. And then what you see is a period of prosperity and peace from other nations, because they see that, look, the United States is really at the top. There's no point in challenging us. And now we've kind of come to a place where, America has gotten really comfortable having all that money, and China and other countries have slowly kind of chipped away. They waited for the right time. This has always been the game. China's not doing anything new. They chip away, they devalue their currency, they play games with trade, but it's not games, it's warfare. It's economic strategic warfare, because they're doing exactly what the United States was doing in the 1940s, right? You're making decisions so that when there is a conflict, which it looks, unfortunately, and I pray every day that this doesn't happen, but knowing human history, and if you study the past, history repeats itself, it looks like we're heading toward a conflict with China. And let's do everything in our power to avoid that, okay? Because that would be devastating. We would lose millions of people would die. But the reality is, we're not heading there. We're already really in one. It's been a soft kind of Cold War, but if things do escalate to a physical, kinetic war with China, depending on who wins that war, you will see a reshuffling of the economic landscape, right? So, it's going to be a very interesting time. And as Americans, we have a responsibility to be keen and understand what exactly is going on with our economy, and do not just go to work and, it's important to have a job and be doing something that's making you money, but you also need to have your money work for you, because ultimately it looks like we're heading toward a kind of a one global system. And whether China becomes the dominant player for a little bit or the United States maintains it, United States is always going to be right up there. But if you study history, you can only be at the top. You can only be champ for so long, whether that's in the UFC or the global economic political landscape. And I'm an American. I have a political and national identity, but I do think it can be dangerous to get too wrapped up in your national identity and miss out on what's really happening on the global economic scene. So this video is going to be 15 minutes long. I don't care. It's valuable information. Like I said, when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to give you valuable information, okay? And I think what we have to start looking at is start identifying more as a citizen of the world, a global citizen. It's okay to be patriotic and have your own, like what your own country does and support your own nation. But I want to let you know that, this idea of, I'm an American, or I'm a member of, I'm a Frenchman, or I'm from Germany, or I'm a China, not Chinaman, but I'm from China. You know what I mean? That is fading. And what's happening is, these governments, like sections of these governments, along with very rich and powerful players, have kind of bypassed the lines of country, and are kind of creating this global conglomerate. It's like almost more of a corporate, a privatized sort of corporate Fed hybrid that's developing. And nationalism isn't going to play as much of a role because we're all going to kind of be in the same boat, right? But that doesn't mean that there will still not be direct conflict between nations, because there still is a hierarchy, and China will still try to get ahead and, get the best. If we do, people are always fighting for the most amount of the food bowl, right? They're not happy with sharing it, or, I have 89%, but this guy has 93%. Like, you want that extra little amount. So basically what I'm trying to say is, be a proud citizen of your country, but understand that we are moving toward a world that is going to be completely global. And there are a lot of people who want to see a one world government. And if you look at what Bitcoin is, it's essentially a one world currency. Bitcoin is representative of the larger movement that we're going through, which is basically one of, globalizing everything, making sure that an individual country like the United States or China can't just print more money and all of a sudden devalue their currency, right? Bitcoin is designed to prevent against that. So it's still going to be affected by the state of the economy and in a recession and stuff like that, because it's dependent on how much value people give it, right? So if people start freaking out, that's one thing. But it's representative, like I said, of this global movement toward a one world type of economy, a one world type of government. Now, I actually do not believe that's a bad thing, but we just have to be really careful about how it's implemented, right? We are moving toward a world where we will start to interact with, civilizations that are not based on this planet. But in order to do that, we have to be unified, right? But just make sure it's our responsibility as global citizens, make sure that we do that in a responsible way, that the government that takes over, might be more of what you would call traditionally communist than capitalist, but, there has to be some spiritual backing of it, because in history, when we see communist governments that are atheist, that is very dangerous, right? But if we can somehow find a way, I'm not saying I'm anti-capitalist or like pro-communism. I'm simply saying, if you imagine a government that will apply for the whole world, it's looking like it's going to be some sort of hybrid capitalist communist thing, but we don't want, China, what's going on in China, the human rights abuses are really, really bad. You can't even own property. And, there are people who have come over from China who recently are talking about just how bad it is, how people are locked up in their apartment buildings and things like that. You can't even own property in China. You technically lease it for 99 years from the government. So they see them saying they control everything. So if we go toward a one world government, that's okay, but we still have to give citizens some sense of ownership and some sense of human rights. We can't just, have, again, like this group at the top that is elite and is basically controlling everything. We need to kind of raise the overall spiritual level on this planet to guard against human historical abuses. So I'm going to end it there. Definitely don't miss out on the Bitcoin train. Even if it's just a couple $100, invest it. What do you have to lose, right? Okay, so you lost a couple $100, but you had literally so much to gain. Whatever is an affordable amount of money that you can afford to lose, or you're comfortable with possibly losing, or not losing, but just having the value go down slightly, then put it in Bitcoin or put it in something else. But make sure that you're ready for what's coming, this recession, and that you're not just going to have your cash just devalue because of inflation. So Luke with New Age Thought, let me know what you think about what I've said today, and especially what you think about how we're heading toward a global system in so many different ways. But I'm going to end it there. Have a good day.